Hey everyone, Josh from Predatory Plants here. Today we're going to talk about something we've gotten a lot of questions about, which is how to deal with basil offshoots from Nepenthes. It's the way that they grow, and a lot of people have questions on them. So to get a quick illustration of what I'm talking about here, this is a mature Nepenthes aristolochioides. It's an endangered species. It's a very weird species, beautiful one, great hybridizer, and it's one we've worked with for a long time. You can see that this is a pretty mature stem right here, a vine, and it has a flower coming off of it. But what we're really interested here is what's called dormant nodes. You can see, if you look very closely at the top of this leaf is a little weird looking, got damaged from cold a little while ago. But at the top here, you can see there's this little squiggle, and that is a potentially new growth point, like the one at the top right here. So if this activates, it starts growing and unfolding new leaves and would shoot straight off of the side. Every leaf has a little bump at it, at the top of it, that if given the correct circumstances will activate into a new growth point all the way down to the bottom. And so that leads to these plants producing basal offshoots under certain circumstances. So what does that look like in practice? Here we have a pretty good sized Nepenthes trusmatiensis. It's a hybrid, a natural hybrid between Nepenthes macrophylla and Nepenthes lowii. It grows very slowly, but we're quite happy to see this one producing a basal offshoot. And you can see it came from very low down on the stem here, and it's pretty undifferentiated. It kind of just looks like a green lump, but this will start unfolding over time. Each new leaf will look a little bit more like a Nepenthes leaf. They'll start having pictures on them, and eventually you'll be able to separate it as its own plant. What does it look like a little bit further along? Here is a Nepenthes aphipiata, another amazing little species here. It has, like Nepenthes lowii, really coarse bristles under the lid, and this white sugary substance called exudiate. Very, very nice plant, very rare in cultivation. But you can see this one has a basal offshoot coming from way underground that's much further along. It's got a real leaf on it. This leaf will make a new pitcher, and the next one will be even bigger. And that's about when we're going to start thinking about taking the offshoot off and making it a new plant. At this point, it's still a little bit too weak to support itself. It's leaching nutrients and water and all of that from the parent plant here. We'd like to see a few mature leaves with real pitchers on them before we pull off the offshoot and try and root it. What does that look like? Well, right here, we have a large mature vining Nepenthes hamata. You can see it has two offshoots here, one very mature offshoot coming from midway up the stem. So this activated a new basal from an actual stem, not from underground, and then a more traditional basal offshoot right here coming from underground. Now, this is a plant that would usually be a candidate actually for taking cuttings off of, because it has this 7-foot vine on it with some nice big mature upper pitchers on it. And if you want to see how we deal with cuttings, there's another video that we'll link to either in the top corner or in the comments. But we're not going to do that with this plant because if you look at the very top, it's in full flower. And we don't really want to waste that flower by cutting this whole vine off. So we're going to hold off on that and instead use it as a demonstration of how to take a basil cutting. And so this is the cutting, the basil that we're going to pull off right here. So we're going to, at the end, have this nice rosette here, the vine to either allow to keep growing and flowering, or once it's done flowering, take cuttings from. And then we're going to just remove this third one, which isn't really serving much of a purpose. It's leaching nutrients and energy from the other two that we'd like to grow a bit more vigorously. So how do we handle a basil coming out of the bottom here under the soil? Essentially, you just try, it's just a long stem under the ground here that connects at some point down to the main root mass. And all we're going to do is try and get down as low as we can on it and just snip it off. It doesn't really matter that you get all of the structure. So these are sterilized pruning shears, and I'm just going to get down here at the base and cut it. And so here, we can bring it up here, we have a nice little hamata plant. It has no roots to speak of, but because it has a growth point, it's going to strike, essentially no matter what. This is all a plant needs to survive. It might slow down for a little bit because it won't have strong roots to support it, but this plant, you know, it might not even drop pitchers, and it might not even look like it ever skips a beat. It'll just keep going. So all I would do with this is take some of this sterilized, hydrated, long fiber sphagnum moss, wrap it around the base, real nice. And then stick that in a pot. So here you have your potted basil offshoot that's ready to become its own plant. It'll put down a root system in a few weeks to a couple months, and in no time at all, it'll be vining and making its own basils. So this is our Nepenthes Ultimate Guide to Basil Offshoots. Again, this is Josh from Predatory Plants. Please let us know in the comments if there's anything else that you're wondering about, any other questions you have. We'd love to answer them. And thanks for watching. And please subscribe to our channel and take a look at the rest of our videos.